Peace. I just saw the glitch. It was really cool. Hey, Mercury. Anyways. A lot of people right now in the Earth Dome, when it comes to humanity, they don't really know how to deal with each other, right? A lot of people are angry right now. They're very impatient. They're frustrated. They're upset. They're ready to go to war for bloodlust. Well, always talking about the Antichrist. Okay, here's the Antichrist. The Antichrist is war. Okay? The Antichrist is anything that goes against the natural order of things. And many of us do. There are 7 things that we were supposed to have been able to master in order to keep our fire in check. And we just won't do it. It's called your pride. Many people read the Bible. It's the 7 deadly sins and the 10 commandments, and that's what came down first from Mount High. Now, you can look at every other book, this, that, and the other, to try to figure it out. But if you don't honor the 7 deadly sins and honor the 10 commandments, that's basically like you're not respecting the will of life. You're not respecting the will of anything. Are you constantly looking for it and saying, you know what you do, right? Now, I've listened to many pastors. I've listened to many people in the divination land. I've listened to many astronomers and astrologers. And many of them right now are blowing off a lot of hot air and a lot of hot steam. They're not handling it very well, and they're not expressing it very well. Because we live in a world where sex and lust is promoted, where greed and gluttony is celebrated, where pride and ego and bad behavior is rewarded, where jealousy and always focusing on somebody else is the norm. And when it comes to connecting to one another as human beings, as we should for humanity, we have become extremely, extremely lazy. The most disturbing part of that is this, that Mercury, there's Mercury. Gives us all of that, and we abuse it. This is my disclaimer on how I see things, right? Most of the world wars in history that were fought to control the aspect of the sun. How do you control the sun? How have they controlled the sun? They have taken health and healing from us. The earth from us, the gems from us, the everything. They have us thinking that everything that we need is outside of us. See, like me, all these bracelets here I made. I do like my gems, I do like my crystals, but I don't overuse or compensate them because I know that they serve a bigger and better purpose. Right now you have Apple can't make their products because the resources. You got now where you got governments coming in and taking these gems and stuff that are being discovered from the people that are finding them and saying it's theirs. See, here we go again, this out of balance stuff. Because we have forgotten where government came from, what it was supposed to be. Goes back to Corinthians 13, 1 through 13. We elect government officials who have had no military service. None. I live in the United States. I think the last president was Jimmy Carter. than any of the other ones serving the military. I don't know, I could be wrong. This is just what I'm finding from what I'm unearthing, right? The evilness that's been whatever. How do you have a whole entire 70 years worth of people believing that Pluto was a planet, and then you demote Pluto? Because Pluto was your space of 9, which is really the space of 10, which is the space of 1, which is Aries and Mars, you stole. So you used force. I'm picking up on Icarus, right? Found Icarus. Hi, Icarus. And it's rather alarming to me to see how people, their minds are rattled, right? Because your conscious and your subconscious mind, you listen to many, many people who say you can't control it. So now, since you've allowed so many people to control it, now you're running around trying to figure out where to find the answers at, and you're going to the same people who confuse you, and many of them can't figure it out. Or you have many people that are leaving many of these spaces, like physicians are leaving the medical field, you got teachers leaving the education system, you have all these systems that are crumbling. And I read somewhere where I was discovering, going back down where government came from, the monarchy, and that states are really cults. They're the cult. So now everything has gotten above the celestial plane, and it's broken because of most of the shifts, right? And all the cycles and changes of the things, because everything was always flipped and used out of control and out of balance. And great and powerful Scorpius predates the Greeks. Has released one heck of a stinger. And we're not dealing with it like, we don't know how to transform. We don't know how to transfer because we have become extremely, extremely to the space where we're always blaming others for the reason why we can't do anything, right? We're always ashamed of things. We're always afraid of things. Or we're always feeling guilty about when we do stand in our power and speak up for ourselves and stand up for what you believe in. Although everything that we've gotten has come from a space of people who weren't afraid to stand up. So when do we become so weakened and always want to say love and light, and then think that that's acceptable and that's enough to do? No, it's not enough to do anymore. One of my favorite fire gods, right, is Helio. Now, I found a post that I did back January 23rd. That's my daughter's birthday, so I'll never forget when I did that. I did that on my baby's birthday. About Helio and the match and Scorpio and doing a lot of things. And a lot of people say I speak too highly of the zodiac. It's not just that. It's just that it is the wheel of time. Okay? And so when you begin to look at it from a space of the whole as a collective, because I'm an Aquarius, I'm the humanitarian, you begin to see things differently. This whole entire aspect of the pandemic was supposed to get us to use our Mercury correctly and to understand and combine together the twinning effects, but many of us didn't, because we sat and we complained like a bunch of undisciplined children about what we were no longer getting anymore. And the thing is, we were undisciplined to begin with. So if you believe in a higher power, why don't you think that this has anything to do with the higher power and the higher scope that you believe in? I've asked these questions. I keep asking these questions, but sadly many people don't have time to talk because our intellect is off. And Mercury governs our intellect and our communication. But Mercury also has a higher octave that many people don't even want to step into and deal with. It's the current day ruler of Aquarius, known as Uranus, which is the highest octave of Mercury. And Uranus right now is sitting in Taurus, and Uranus is actually retrograde, so you've got a little bit more time before the Great Awakener comes in and begins to awaken all of us. with what we did to Earth. Three volcanoes, a wildfire. This is about the cosmic vagina, as I want to call it, that's getting ready. She's had so much fun with all the phalluses that have penetrated her that now she's just getting ready to just have one great big old orgasm. So are you ready for the orgasm the Earth is getting ready to release? Because although people aren't speaking on this tsunami, there has to be national disasters, right? They are coming. Nobody's really talking about that tsunami, but I really feel like it's going to hit because the waters, it's like the flooding, you know, when a woman begins to get excited and she has her orgasm and secretes. It's water, isn't it? So the penetration aspects from all of the phalluses that have ejaculated in her is what Virgo and Scorpius are telling me right now. So with that being said, Helio, I love you. 1, can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen, right? 2, you play with fire, you're going to get burnt. That's pretty much what's going on right now. Don't be scared because you played around with stuff and you didn't do your work. You just might be afraid to go to sleep. And Pisces, there is Pisces. Isn't going to let you escape it. You cannot escape anymore. You destroyed the bones and the mountains of earth. You didn't honor anything. You didn't honor your neighbor. You didn't look after your neighbor. You didn't do anything like that. You weren't your brother's keeper. You weren't any of that. I mean, that's pretty much what's going on. Just about the whatever else. So many people call it 5D consciousness, right? And the one planet that you said that was used to keep everybody down, Saturn, is the one that's getting ready to bring everybody into the scope of 5D consciousness. Saturn is. And I'm very happy about that because Saturn is one of my favorite planets. I love Saturn. But if you couldn't handle the weight and the responsibility of what it was when it was at 3D, you really aren't going to be able to handle it at 5D. So many people are waking up. And many of the people that are waking up are wanting the people to put them back to sleep as Sleeping Beauty. I don't want to go back to sleep. I like being able to see. Being able to know what's going on. I just want to find my true tribe that's going to love me, accept me, and embrace me. And be intelligent enough and brave enough to have these conversations openly and not run from them. I don't like fluff and filler. I like the truth. Saturn's given us the truth. And Jupiter's only going to give abundance to the certain ones who honor the spaces and the scope of origins, family, health, home, and grandparents. Thank you, Fire Nation, for the fire world, and I love you. With love. So I have cute darling. The Aquarius.